Okay, okay. This is what if Shinra from Fire Force was betrayed. I wasn't sure what picture to use, so I'm really not sure. But he kind of looks like this. In this version, he doesn't wear a shirt because his fire, instead of just coming off his feet like in canon, it can come off the upper half of his body and his feet, but that's all. He can launch his knee in flames, but not much. Well, whenever he fights, people think this is what he looks like. A demon, but he really doesn't. So I wasn't really sure what to do, so a subscriber asked for this, I'm not really sure why. Anyway, so this is what if Shinra was betrayed. Yeah. Dang, I really don't have much charge. Anyway, Shinra in this version, he's really strong, because in this version he trained his whole life. He's even stronger than the captain. Sorry about that. Sorry again. He's actually stronger than the captain of Company 8. And this is before he goes to Company 8. He just never fights wearing a shirt. It's just one of those things that he doesn't do. And this is actually what he looks like. Muscles and all that. Not sure about the flaming tail or the horns though, so I'm gonna have to adjust what he looks like. And he kinda looks like this. But this is when they're first meeting, so I'm gonna say he didn't have his Fire Force clothes quite yet. Though he still is pretty much a flame maker in every other regard, so he's basically unstoppable. Though I won't say it comes out of the upper half, but he can manipulate flames. Hold on. Okay, so when Company 8 first barges in when he's getting off the train, this is what he looks like. In this version, wearing a shirt isn't really mandatory for Japan in this version, so he doesn't really wear a shirt. Ever. Literally ever. Weird, but okay. So this is what he looks like when he goes to save Iris, the nun girl. Once they fight that thing and kill it, the Indolaburst thing, a light comes falling down on her like in canon. But in this version, Shinra, he goes in with the flames. And he looks like this. Kinda like that. And he goes up there and he straight up burns. Basically flies through there and catches her. In canon, he lands on his foot. In this version, he actually catches that light with his foot and kicks it to the ground while taking her away from it. So, yeah. And when he's in his company uniform, this is just what he looks like. He doesn't really wear a shirt. He just doesn't. And you know all those scenes where he's, in his Fire Force gear? Where he's, hold on a second. Any scene where he'd be wearing this outfit, he won't be wearing that. He'll be wearing this outfit. He kind of looks like this because he's more muscular than in canon. But, yeah, that's the only real difference. Because in canon, he looks like between this and this. But in this version, he looks like this. Boom. Same as the captain when it turns to full power. Just how he looks. Anyway, when he's really geared up, he kind of looks like, well, the captain. He kind of looks like the captain, like this. That's basically what he looks like, but not really. Because, yeah, that's how basically, yeah, that's actually what he wears. With the whole straps over his chest and all that. Basically, the reason I said it looks like that is because he looks like this, but with this much muscle mass. So yeah. So and in this version, his shirt kind of, I will say he was wearing a shirt, but he doesn't like to. I'm gonna say that when the light fell at him, it burned his shirt, so he was just wearing his normal old jeans, well, shorts, because the dude never wears full pants. He always wears something like this. Occasionally he'll wear long pants, but not really. So he just shows up like that, saves her, and says, ow, 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 ow. When they go to initiate him, he starts doing his stuff, but they say, the devil's footprints, and he says, sore subject, man, don't talk about that. The captain doesn't care, because he's a little jerk in this one. Sorry for all the captain fans. So, yeah, Shinra says, don't. And the captain just keeps saying the whole thing, and Shinra punches him in the jaw without even using any flame, sending him flying back. And he was working out when this happened. He sets his gear down to do this, so he takes a punch from this, going right into this, the left, where it's actually the captain, not Shinra. So yeah, that's what happens. That's who takes the punch. Shinra's not quite as big as the captain, but he is easily as strong. He says, fine, I won't talk about it, but nice punch. Shinra says, yeah, one of my favorite things to do. And the captain says, noted. But don't go around punching your superiors. Shinra says, as long as they don't do something stupid. So he's like, fine. And then he goes on his first mission, and he fights that thing, and he isn't good enough in that fight like he is in canon, but he's stronger, but this was an even stronger thing. It was actually a demon version. It actually stabs him in the chest. That's where he's getting this tiny scar from. That was actually a horn slash in this version. Not sure where he got it in real life, in the canon, but yeah, that's what it looks like. And that's how he got it. So he actually winds up doing a kicking spiral flame, which he basically just busts a move, breakdancing and all that, is how he fights. Yeah, he basically does that, which is kind of like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's kind of like that, but yeah, anyway. So he keeps doing that, and he winds up breaking the monster, but then he lands on his feet, and like normal firemen, he actually carries an axe on his side. Kind of like the captain does, how he always carries an axe even though he's not a fireman anymore. But he carries an axe on his side, a big one, and he had to chop in to get through the stuff that was falling at him. And once all that's done, they call him a demon because they've seen the devil's footprints. That's what his steps are called because of his fire on the bottom of his feet. People see that and start talking they start saying a lot of messed up stuff. The captain says something. He says, sore subject. It's like, fine, I'm not taking another punch. And then that dude, the side captain with the gun, shot Shinra in the foot, which didn't do much. By the way, only the guys are gonna betray him. So yeah, Arthur is there, and yeah, they all side with Arthur because he wants to be something like noble. Shinra wants to be a hero in this version, but not as much, since he thinks that, what's the point? Because he's a lot more depressed in this version. So he's not as kind or anything, but he's still nice, but like he's not going to be overly cheerful all the time. He's kind of still sad. And he doesn't have the whole smirk thing that he does in canon that people tease him about. He smirks whenever he's really mad or really happy. He hasn't had a genuine smirk in years because of that same thing, but he's able to overcome it. But yeah, he's actually pretty dangerous. And anyone who fights him can expect a kick to the face. But out of everyone in the fire force, he might be the most dangerous. Because he can fly. And I'm going to say that the whole horn look, he doesn't have it, but it still looks really cool. And he doesn't have a tail either, so yeah. But he's still pretty terrifying to people because when he comes on the scene, things are burning and all that. And anyway, they kick him out of the fire force, just the captain and the vice captain, because they don't want a devil on their team. And this is right after right after he saves that nun girl from... Right after he saves that nun from the other nun, the one that she grew up with, he steps in, stops all that fighting. Now, the girls are all simping for him. And Maki, I'm going to do a little bit of character development on her. So, she always thinks that people are calling her gorilla because she's strong, so she kind of is self-conscious about that. And one day, she thinks Shinra calls her that because he says calm down, and he actually catches both her hands and says calm down. It's very unladylike, and she kind of has the whole thing of everyone calling her gorilla breaking down, and she actually notices what people call her, just normal. So she won't have the whole call me a gorilla stuff like she does in canon. Yes, it's very comic, it's very funny, but I'm not having it in this one. So Shinra takes, so yeah, and Shinra knows how to like burn people easily, but like he also knows how to heal burns with heat, but it's very difficult for him, which is bull, but I'm just making it an ability. So he actually does fight a lot just using his feet, but he can punch. And one day, they're actually doing a fight, and by the way, he went to the thing and got this girl, but it was a little different than in canon. I'm making this the picture. I really don't care. Anyway, he actually does his thing and starts really fighting. But he doesn't really care. So, whenever they do that, he flies up there, and when that place explodes, they say it was his fault. Arthur, not caring about Shinra in the slightest, says it was his fault as well. And that fox girl, she tries jumping to Shinra's defense, but she's basically silented by the fact that no one believes her at all. For stupid reasons. Just like no one listened to her because she was in the middle of something talking to someone, but when they kicked him out of the fire force, they didn't actually kick him out. No, Company 8 kicked him out. Not really. They actually get video evidence that it was some weird dude in a hat. And they show this, and I'm gonna say they had him in prison because a couple guys got burned really bad because of that. And they showed it ignited, and he grabbed both of them and flew out. And it ignited before his fire was even lit. They had a full video of what happened and all that, the story and all that. So they were like, we messed up. They got him out of the prison, put him back in Company 8. But he can't trust Company 8. I'm going to say that all the girls in Company 8 were saying, no, he'd never do this. But even that Hibana girl, yeah, actually it was Iris got saved from Shinra from Hibana. That's actually her name. Anyway, Shinra gets back into the squad, and he doesn't, and, like, I'm gonna say in canon, he actually had the canon body build, like this, but now he doesn't have that build. He has the more muscular build I showed you earlier. And Shinra is not weak in this version. I've said this before, but yeah, just to make it completely obvious, he's unstoppable. And his Adola Burst, he has complete control over. And if he runs out of oxygen in his body, he can take the burns and they'll heal. Which other people run out of oxygen in their body, they won't heal, but with Shinra, it's fine, he'll heal. So he gets back to doing what he does, but I'm not really sure what happens after this, so I might just end the video. Yeah, I'm gonna make a stupid plot arc where this is a harem in this version. I don't do this often, but yes, this is gonna be a harem. All the girls are jumping to his defense. The captain and the gun dude are always putting Shinra alone to take on giant tasks that should take the entire squad to do, and he'll come back burned and tired. I'm going to say when Arthur had the whole thing about Shinra not wanting to kill that dude, in this version he knows it has to be done. In this version, Arthur said, not good. And Arthur and those two had actually been planning on something, and one day those three cook food. Shinra not trusting this in the slightest, saying, nah, I'm good. And they ask, are you sure, man? You don't want to eat? He says, Havana made me something and brought it to me earlier. And they're just like, dang it. Because they'd actually poisoned the food. They were going to actually have a mission right after this where the poison would kick in, which weakened them. And in this version, the Fox Girl and Ivana both go to Company 8. And yes, I know that Hibana's actually the leader of Company 5. So all her simps would be lost without her, but yeah. She goes there every day, even though there's no tasks she needs to do over there. It's all just to hang out with Shinra, because he pulls girls in this version. Anyway, yeah. Now he's got this build after getting out of prison, so every fight he gets into is going to be a lot different. Now, one day, Captain Obi thinks he's strong, but I can take him. And the fire manipulating dude with the gun says, he's strong, but I can take him. And then you have Arthur saying, he'll be tough, but I must slay the demon as a king. Yes, he actually said something that stupid. They actually sent him to go get this dude. Yes, that's actually kind of what he looks like in canon and all that. So yeah, they send him to get him, which isn't going to be very difficult, but still really difficult. Because, well, these dude... What the heck? Okay, forget that. That was weird. So anyway, this dude, he gets to his... They get there, and he says, no, no. But then the whole tentacle dude, the whole weird face dude... I'm going to say that her power being that I said tentacle dude, I meant tentacle girl, because her fire is actually tentacle fire, so yeah, they're all launching attacks, and in this version, like how that girl was there in the first version, and so was Arthur, in this version, Arthur has his back, nada. Anyway, that was weird, anyway. Arthur doesn't have his back at all, and every time there's an attack coming his way, he'll actually dodge to where Shinra gets hit. And Shinra, he's actually fighting to his best of his ability against that weird dude who chokes him out. In this version, he tanks through it and rips the wire apart and starts to hit this dude repetitively. That dude with the stupid mask. And then, like this dude... on this, both him and him, they're both throwing hit. Every time he goes from one to another, and all that he sees is just like a foot, something made of metal, a foot, something made of metal, a foot, something made of metal, till it's the point where he's just like, enough of this, and he really starts to complain about it. Weird. Just a foot, something made of metal. A foot, something made of metal. Until he starts saying enough. And throws an attack at Shinra. And he got that great idea. This is what he sees. Yes, this is actually what he sees. Something like that. I'm going to say this is what he sees when he threw an attack at Shinra. And got burned because of that. His entire gear was burned apart. And when Shinra landed, he landed like this. In this terrifying look. And remember, Shinra is not weak. He's a flame beast. And he keeps throwing hit after hit after hit on this dude. And no one is challenging him. because everyone who does gets hit by a foot. So yeah, Shinra is keeping on fighting, and then he gets hit by weird tendril thing right in the back of his head. And yeah, that's what happened, which was weird, but he just dealt with it. Weird. Anyway, Shinra keeps fighting, which is not very effective. So, after that whole fight, they go down to that area, and Shinra absolutely demolishes his little brother. He says, "Not a good choice, little bro," and starts beating his little brother down, hit after hit. And the Fire Force, and he hasn't forgiven the Fire Force, not in the slightest. He doesn't forgive any company, but he will, sorry about that, he will forgive one company. The company of the dude with the weird X and OI thing. Where so, yeah. I'm going to say that in this, what the heck? What am I seeing? And never mind. Anyway, yeah, Shinra actually goes to, wow, Maki. Very big part of the harem. That's actually the girl I told you about the whole, is really, like, worried about her look thing. Yeah, that's her. And these are her flames. She is a type 2. She can change flames. Anyway, Shinra keeps fighting. Punch, punch, kick, kick. Every time he hits something, it just gets worse. And I think that's where I'm going to leave the video off. I don't know much about the series. I'm just now watching it. Sorry, the subscriber who wanted this. It's not as long as my other videos, but who knows? Maybe that's a good thing. 20 minutes might work a lot better for you. Well, bye, everybody. Oh, and to all my subscribers that are sending weird stuff in the comments, why do you do it? Comment down below, and if you comment something stupid, I will be so annoyed, but I can't do anything. But I'm not gonna force people. I'm not gonna beg y'all for subscribers. I'm not gonna beg for subscribers. I'm not gonna beg for likes. I'm not gonna beg for comments. But if y'all really do want to subscribe, or do want to like, or do want to comment, do whatever. I don't care if it's a hateful comment. I don't care if it's a hateful thing, and I don't care if you subscribe to my channel just to downvote every video of mine. Do what you want. It's all your choice. Peace out. Oh, by the way, remember, stay cool, my slick knights. Your slick king out.